Dawson Rider Wiki.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with my review of the Wave 1 of the Ben 10 basic figures from the new Reboot series. So this isn't actually all that different from when Bandai has the license, or had the license, excuse me. We just kind of get this default wave, which are like the most, well, default figures, and they're actually pretty good. Honestly, in general, I'm finding that this toy line is a lot better than the series, and in fact, I think these figures are in some ways superior than the Bandai America versions, but we'll get to that. I don't know why I said Bandai America, because there's no Bandai Japan counterpart for this. But anyway, so this first wave includes Kid Ben that comes with, obviously that's only Ben, comes with Gray Matter. You have Accelerate, Cannonbolt, Fourarms, Diamondhead, Heatblast, Hex, and then this guy, I think his name's Smythe. I already forgot his name. I think it's Smythe. I'm just going to call him that. But so yeah, in the next wave, I believe, unless I haven't seen the other ones, I don't know when they're coming out or if they are already with these, but these are the only ones I saw together. But the next one will include stuff like Upgrade and Stingfly and whatnot. But anyway, let's go ahead and just dive right in. I'm going to sort of do this so we can pull focus to individuals. So alright, so we got Kid Ben here, which I think is probably the weakest of the bunch here. In general, I think these figures do a good job of capturing the cartoon personality, and this isn't that different, but I just feel that the face is a little too creepy, almost a little too evil looking, and if it was just tweaked a little bit, it would just look a little bit better. But everything else looks good, like the color and the paint looks good. I always appreciate when they put the little details in there to make it look like the clothes actually fold and whatnot. The Omnitrix is actually really nicely detailed. I kind of like the sort of pose you can get him in, the way that they put the figure together, because it kind of looks like he's going to do the slamming down the Omnitrix to transform. But like, unfortunately, unless there's just something weird with mine, it looks like his head's on a ball joint, but it's not. So I just feel like this twist, like if I twist too far, it's going to pop right off. So like, it looks weird that I can't have him sort of looking at the watch or looking this way, and so that's kind of awkward. He does have some decent little amounts of articulation, but he's kind of seems more hindered than some of the others. Like, you have the little hinge here, and you can move all the way around, and you can move his little hand here, back and forth moving on the leg, a little knee joint there. So you have some decent little movements, but he's like oddly, like an odd combination of articulated and also fixed. And some of them are like that, but it's kind of funny because in general these figures are a little bit more articulated than the Bandai ones, but there's just something about this that both the mold for articulation's off and the face. And then he comes with a little Gray Matter, which is interesting because in the original releases for Gray Matter, they did basically like a standard size Gray Matter figure, which was like the size of Ben, and then like a little one that came with it to be sort of more in scale with the other figures. But for this right now, all we have is the little Gray Matter. He comes with his little platform. You don't got to keep him on there, but he comes with it. It's kind of just a boring platform, but he's a nice little figure. He doesn't articulate or anything, but he's nicely painted. He looks like he does in the show, and like he popped right out of it. You got the Omnitrix symbol back there. Okay, so now I'm going to do the villains because I said so. So here we got Hex. I believe this is the second ever figure we got for Hex. I think there was only one in the original series lineup, which I missed out on. So, and he's pretty well done. I really like the material they have for his cloak and stuff. It's kind of this nice, soft plastic it kind of doesn't hinder your movements and just kind of gives it more of a cloth-like look and feel. But he looks good as well. All of them, I think, look pretty good in terms of looking like they just came out of the cartoon. Pretty well articulated here. Like I said, they're a little bit more articulated than most of the original Bandai figures, which is kind of nice. And he comes with a staff weapon here, which you can take out of his hand if you want. You can move his head like I just showed. And then you got this new guy here. Oh, he fell over. It's happening. Also, I think looks pretty good. They captured his cartoon likeness pretty well. And he's got pretty much the same decent articulation, except his legs only sort of twist because he's in this like classic, like almost like a giant skirt that's molded that stops his feet from moving. So you can only turn his feet side to side. But he's got the nice arm articulation, and you can move his head. And it's weird because in this case you can actually move it up a little bit so that it's easier to move and looks a little more natural. But because his head's on kind of this weird like slant, it still looks awkward when you turn it. But he's got nice little details there. This actually does a pretty good job of making it look like metal. You have this little backpack here that you just, there's like a little square peg and you just snap it in here and put these over his shoulders, and you have like this little laser thing going on, and you don't have to have that on if you don't want to, but it's just kind of a nice little addition. Okay, so now on to the aliens. So, or more aliens than Gray Matter. So here we have Heatblast, who's a pretty nice figure. You got this sort of see-through look to him, and you're going to have the same for Diamondhead. And I believe in the original releases, we had ones that looked more cartoon accurate and just had like the straight-up like solid looking color, and then we got clearer versions later. And I kind of hope we do the opposite here, because I do like having the show accurate looking ones, even though that the see-through does look kind of neat for the flame. But the proportions and stuff, I think all look pretty good on him. And he's one of the better examples of how decently articulated these are, because he really doesn't have anything holding him back or anything like that. Like the elbow joints and stuff aren't the absolute best ever, but still, like usually you had more minimal articulation on the Bandai figures, which I don't mean to make it sound like those were bad, because I really liked collecting the Alien collection on that. And you have two Fireball accessories. You have this one, which you can just put on his hand, and then you have this other one here, which has like a peg for here, and or you can like lock around his wrist. And you can honestly put it on either or, just it's a matter of like finagling it in the right way. But so that's kind of nice. Okay, just gonna skip around here. Let's do Cannonbolt, who's one of my favorites, who I think this looks pretty good. Like, hold up, wait, there we go. Who I think looks pretty good in terms of like all the colors. It's very basic in terms of colors actually, so there's not a whole lot to mess up. But like just the way the colors look very cartoon accurate. I know that they're trying to make him look tough, which is fine, but I almost wish either he had a happy face or there was like an alternate face, because one of the things I did like about Cannonbolt in the new series is that he had some sort of adorable moments when he had like a smile on his face or something. So I kind of wish that, and now I feel like it also would reflect a little bit more of the personality. But the figure's a nice size, and I think it represents the cartoon colors well. And you actually have some pretty decent little articulation on there, a little bit more decent than some of the past Cannonbolt figures we've gotten, so that's kind of nice. Okay, so now we got Fourarms here. Oh, that just caused an avalanche, but we'll have to go to those anyway. So kind of like the larger feature figures that I reviewed, I think this does a really great job of conveying the personality, especially in the head sculpt here. It just really looks like it was just printed straight out of the cartoon. It's got a lot of personality. Oh, sorry about that. There we go. But yeah, I just really appreciate that. You have these two like chain accessories you can just put between his hands to make him look strong, but they're not permanent or anything. And what's nice about this with the more articulation, just kind of like the larger version as well, is you have it on all the arms. So you can kind of get some versatile looking poses from him, which is just really nice for Fourarms. And I think he's one of the best figures in this wave just because of that versatility with the arms and the personality in the face. So you can really just give him his own unique pose, which is just kind of nice. So that's a really nice figure. Okay, so we got two more here once I get everyone to stand up. Alright, let's do Diamondhead just because he's right here, who's my personal favorite, as I've said in many reviews. And I do like the clear look, but like I said, I wish we would get one, or hopefully we get one in the future, that looks more like he does in the show, which is kind of this solid, I don't know, like light blue cyan color. I don't even really know how to describe it. It's like this if it were just solid. You know what I'm talking about if you've seen the show. So I'd love to get one like that. I also kind of wish that all of his poses weren't with like an open mouth, like if we could get maybe just a closed one just to have a little variety, because basically all three Diamondhead figures I have from this new series so far look the same, but it's still a nice little figure. He's got sort of the same articulation. He's a little bit more hindered than like Heatblast because he has these big bulky arms that stop him. Same thing like at the elbow and whatnot, so that stops him a bit, but you can move the head up and down a smidge. And he does come with this little accessory piece here, which is kind of nice, which actually just looks like he's you know, molded his fist into like more of a punchy, pointy fist, which is actually really nice, and probably one of my more favorite Diamondhead accessories that they've done for Diamondhead figures, because usually it was like a sword, or like he could take off one of these back pieces and hold it, and I just like this one because I think it's one of the most true to show, like what Diamondhead does in any of the shows, so that's kind of a nice accessory bit, and it also separates it a smidge from the other releases. Alright, then we got Accelerate here, who actually comes with a couple different things. As you can see, he has this little platform which he just pops on with the little pegs that are there, and you can probably put them the opposite way too. I felt like this was the right way, but anyway, so you can kind of have him rolling, so that's kind of a thing, and it's kind of just like a road surface. And then he also comes with, here they are, 3 traffic cones, so you can sort of pose him as if he's going through traffic or something, which I guess is kind of neat. And like, this figure has a lot of personality, kind of like I've mentioned with the other ones, where it looks like he came straight out of the cartoon, which is really nice. The colors are well done. The head sculpt is well done to that point as well. It does make for a little bit awkward of a mold with the legs and the tail, like when you don't have him on the platform. really awkwardly weird to get him to stand. So that's just kind of a weird bit to him. So I'd say he's a little bit weak in that department, but in the looks department, he looks good. And because of his skinny limbs, though, he does have a little bit more available articulation, but like I said, it's a bit weird down here. But you can get a fair amount, and I appreciate that you can move his head up and down as well as side to side just to give him... It's kind of funny how much just a few little degrees of movement will give a figure personality, which is just really nice. But anyway, that's about it. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with this figure wave. I have a few problems with it, certainly, with Accelerate's legs, and I think Kid Ben needed to be reworked to have a less creepy face and a little bit better of a mold. But overall, I think Playmates has done a good job of picking up this toy license. I really enjoy these figures, and what's nice about them is that I know a lot of people aren't a fan of the Reboot show, and I'm not a huge fan of it either. But what's nice about them is that so many of the designs are very close. So, like, you know, if you're a fan of Fourarms from the original series, this is a pretty nice figure that more or less represents it from the original series, with the Omnitrix being in a different place. But you know what I mean. So it's really kind of nice, and I'm looking forward to getting more of these figures because I think they're a worthy successor to the Alien collection, and they're actually a little bit bigger in scale and do things a little bit better in some areas. But anyway, until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Until Dawson Ryder, signing out.